Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. This is going to be the third of the set of 3 healings where I heal 132 people in 13 different countries. The theme of this healing and this set, and then the next set this month, is Be a Spiritual Badass, which includes helping with intuition, self-diagnosis, efficient self-healing, clear mind, positivity, and presence. Being present as possible. So, as usual, how we get there is not something that you might have predicted. Thank you. We are going to work things like the shoulders, which, you know, that may not be something you thought we were going to work in a healing about being a spiritual badass. But shoulders are really good for personal power, for manifesting. You bring in a lot of new energy, potentially in through straight down into your shoulders, as well as, you know, in through your 7th chakra. And so being like really present in your shoulders spiritually is really useful for manifesting change, positive change. Also, it feels better than having your shoulders be all tight and stressed out. So, but anyway, so we will continue shoulder work today in a big way. And actually, the healing 2 days ago, the second healing in the set, it had a combination of 3 major things, and we're going to repeat those 3 major things today because they worked so well. But also, we're going to weave in a couple simple things to make it even more effective. Thank you for my confirmation. Thank you very much. So the simple, so the 3 main things that then we're going to repeat is shoulder work, unblocking in the shoulders, but also the auras around the shoulders with like really key sort of patterns, checking certain locations around the shoulders in the auras for blocks that really just shut down this flow. So we're doing that again. That's one. Then digestive system is the second big thing. And we'll do it the same way, mostly the same way we did 2 days ago. We will heal the digestive system by imagining it as a garden. And we will imagine, and then the other way we'll work the digestive system is to imagine what your digestive system is holding on to that's unhealthy. Like, for example, if your mother-in-law hurled some insults at you 25 years ago, or 28 years ago, probably, and you know, your gut kind of held on to it. So that stuff, that's the second thing. The third thing is chakra filaments, which are the good cords between you and you, between your body and you, your between 7 physical body chakras and 7 astral body chakras. You have filaments or cords, whatever, but they facilitate energy transfer and communication between you as a spirit and your physical body. So we cleared fears out of those, which was very effective. And we also cleared rules from others, social judgments, social rules from other people, all sorts of stuff. So that was especially effective. So those are the 3 things. But how we're going to do it differently today, I mean, it's good just to do it over again, even if we did the exact same way. But how we're going to change it is we're going to clear spiritual agreements more often in those, because I noticed, like, for example, for the shoulders, and one of the ways is like this V pattern. You imagine like a V pattern where the point of the V would be your 4th chakra, your heart chakra in the center of your chest, and it would go up like that. So you imagine this area in all your, specifically body, your physical body aura, you know, check for blocks in this V area in your physical body aura layers. The ones that didn't clear, the really congested areas that were still really congested, were because the person had a spiritual agreement or several spiritual agreements to keep that stuff there. You can definitely have unhealthy, oppressive agreements that you make at some time or another, like in a past life or in this life, when you just, wasn't your finest moment. So by folding in, clearing agreements more often, more frequently as we're doing these different things, I think it will free people up to clear even more in a really kind of smooth way, low drama way. And the other thing I want to work in, like in between each of these major techniques, is emptying unprocessed stress pots and clearing STEBs. So empty unprocessed stress pots, it's a technique that's simple and it helps you to just clear your mind and just kind of get rid of, catch up on the backlog of processing. And I think it's so simple and easy, and I think it'll help people feel more refreshed after each technique so that they're ready to do even more with the next technique. And clearing STEBs, stubborn, triggered energy blocks, that's always good. Can't go wrong with that. So that's today. Pretty much. And we'll see if the angels surprise me with something extra. But that's that. And it depended on the person which technique was the most impactful. But I did notice the shoulder unblocking was a real big thing that allowed a lot of like backlog of things that people have been trying to manifest to come in. And then the chakra filament work, for some people that was like super impactful. I mean, I am sure it helped everybody, but the more people had, old past life fears jamming up their filaments, those people, it was an impressive before and after. So anyway, all good stuff to do. I'm excited. Thank you for your surveys, because that's what I study in between the healings, in addition to just my own meditations and working with angels. So always helpful. Thank you. What else? We'll do some quick sales notes. So the September group healing sets are sold out now, finally. My patience was rewarded. Most of them sell out very fast, but then there's like this last bunch. So anyway, my little OCD brain is happier now that they're all sold out. But so in just 9 days, on August 15th, that's when the October sets will go up for sale on my payment purchase page on my website, jwhealing.com. In the meantime, you could purchase a subscription if you want to buy all the healings every month and you don't want to have to think about it. But anyway, if you don't get my news emails and you would like to, just email me and ask. Janet@jwhealing.com. And what else? That's it for sales notes. Now I will do political notes, U.S. politics commentary, just for a few minutes. So if you really don't like that, I will go like, let's see, I'll go like this when I'm all done with it, right? So you could just like mute it and wait until you see this again. But it should be pretty quick. And of course, I'll change the little chapter title, the little heading there too when I'm done. So US politics. Okay, so please forgive me if you and I are not of the same political beliefs. That's okay, of course. I'm still happy to teach energy healing techniques to you and give you healings. That's not necessarily that we agree politically. However, I will say for any of you actually interested, I'm really excited about Kamala Harris's VP pick. I think Walz is awesome, and I'm totally excited. And if you think it's a good pick, you could donate to Kamala Harris today in particular, or in the next few days, because they do study that to like measure enthusiasm, you know, for the pick. So I've been giving to her weekly ever since Joe dropped out, and she looked like she was in charge. She seemed very impressive to me since then. So I've been donating weekly, but I donated an extra one-time donation today just to be like, woohoo, yay, Walz. Because unfortunately in our political system, money talks. So, all right. So, oh, and I would say to please vote in November and every election, wherever you live, if you have the ability to vote safely, because I know that's not true for everybody, depending on what country you live in and where you are. But if you have the ability to vote safely, please do try to inform yourself and vote, because it can affect your quality of life and the life of those around you. Okay, so that's my little... So all done now. All done with my political commentary. All done. Thank you for your patience. Let's see. So I'll read chat comments, but I don't have a lot, maybe because I started really late and it's a Tuesday, so people are working. Hey, Janet, we can see and hear you in Chicago, 70s and cloudy. That would be good gardening weather, though. Hi, Janet. Pretty emoji. Thank you so much. Hey, Janet, in San Francisco, California, 65 and sunny, feeling anxious, looking forward to the healing. Well, good to know. And yeah, hopefully probably the chakra filaments unblocking of the lower, like 3, 2, and 1 could help with that. And we will be doing that. Mrs. Thanks for the political talk. Oh, I'm glad. You can't, I'm sure it will not be a thank you for the political talk for some people, but that's okay too. I just, it's what it is. Alrighty. So I'm going to do the 3 minutes of quiet before I start the healing. During the quiet, I'm finishing my prep and saying hello to the 132 people that I'll be healing that purchased this healing 2 months ago. And when I start the healing, I will not talk just for the first minutes, and you'll see me go like that. That's how you know I've started. And then the rest of the time I will talk out loud and narrate briefly what I'm doing as I do it. So you could use it as a self-healing walkthrough, all levels self-healing walkthrough if you wish. If I'm healing you, you don't have to. You could just get the healing and that's that. Or you can heal yourself as you watch. Mhm. Okay, let's do some grounding. So, redo your physical body grounding and your astral body grounding. Just let them go. Make new ones. Make them both red or orange or yellow. Nice and wide and all the way down to the core of the earth. And nice and high up to your third chakra, which is where your sternum bone ends and your ribs meet there at the bottom. So bring your grounding up that high, and you can make a copy out in front of you of your grounding. And comb through that copy of your grounding with gold light from your hand chakras and your fingertip chakras. So you have one big chakra in the palm of the hand and one in each fingertip. You set those chakras with your intention to be a metallic gold color so that as they spin, they naturally are generating gold light, which is excellent for melting away blocked energy. And I mentioned this in last healing a bit. Grounding helps you individuate. It helps you not be influenced so much in a negative way by the imbalances of those that you know, the imbalances of those around you. Because the center of the earth is like kind of like a purifier and a nourishing source. And so the better you're and the more pure your connection to the core of the earth is, the more you don't really have to worry so much about how imbalanced people around you are. And yes, that goes even for sensitive people. So just find all the knots in your grounding, all the just piles of other people's junk, melt them away so that you can get that full release to the core of the earth, and you can bring up nice nourishing earth energy without it getting altered. A lot of times if people have a problem or a fear that goes round and round in their mind, did I do the right thing? You know, there's like a big lump of junk in their grounding related to that. And so as they bring up earth energy, they it's not pure enough. So it doesn't like reset them properly. They just keep spiraling on their issue. So check your grounding for stuff that is basically a copy of whatever you've been worried about over and over and over and over and over and over. Just find it in your grounding and blow it up, or melt it with gold light, or surround it with gold light and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. But recurring worries, recurring fears, grip them in your grounding, get them out. Angels, here you go. Grip them. Angels, here you go. Recurring worries, recurring concerns, recurring dramas, find them in your grounding. Use lots of gold light, remove them, give them to your angels, or just melt them with gold light. It may be that the external situation still exists, but it's not going to own you the same way. It's not going to bug you and sidetrack you in the same way if you can get it out of your grounding. Not going to get under your skin the same way. All right, and then indie grounding is where you check the outer surface of your grounding and use gold light and just melt away any connections coming in or leaving your grounding. Just melt all that away so that your grounding is just you and the core of the earth. All right, great job. Okay, aura repair. Let's do composite copy technique. Make a copy out in front of you of a rip. Have it represent all the rips in all your auras. All your auras meaning 17 auras. Astral body, physical body, and then 15 Wei Qi auras, which are your strong boundaries energy of your spirit. So just imagine a V shape to represent all your rips, and then repair the rip, this composite copy rip. Therefore, you're repairing the actual rips in your 17 auras. So first you clean out the rip, and that way it's able to fully repair. So to clean it out, you use sticky gold wax, which is gold light from your hands that sticks to everything that's not you, making a big lump. So fill up the rip with sticky gold wax, have it stick to all the junk, like hard objects, other people's energy, invasive beings, and just lift it out as a big lump. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Again, sticky gold wax. Get it in there real deep. Lift out all the junk. Angels, here you go. And now you get the gold light really deep in there. It should start the repair. Start to grow back. The rip can get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And if you have any invasive beings that are just kind of trying to make your process more complex than it needs to be, just imagine yourself, imagine all those invasive beings, and just say, angels, can you recycle all these beings? You don't have to imagine them in detail. You can just imagine them like a big, silly cloud. All right. So we'll do one more rip repair, just for any stubborn rips that are left over. So make a composite copy, have it represent any rips you still have. Sticky gold wax, get rid of the junk. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, get rid of the junk. Angels, here you go. The gold light really deep in there so that it can repair fully. All right. You may have leftover hardness at the outer surface or inside one of the auras. So just make a big pile of all the leftover hardness in your auras, leftover from energy attacks, and just melt it away. This hardness is going to make your aura more weak. So again, put any leftover hardness out in front of you, copies of it out in front of you, and just melt it away with gold light. You may need to, as you put the hardness out in front of you, you may need to melt cords from other people going into the hardness. And that could help it to melt more fully. Right. You can redo your gold buffer zones. There's a video on gold buffer zones if you did want to learn that. Their gold buffers helps to slow the rate of aura damage. You can imagine the gold mesh spheres of your Wei Qi auras. They're gold mesh and they wrap around you. There's an innermost one, there's a middle one, and an outermost one in each of your 15 Wei Qi auras. They generate gold light constantly. So they fill up the Wei Qi aura with gold light and it gets sent towards whatever traditional Chinese medicine meridian it particularly helps, or just gold light overall coming in towards your body, towards your astral body. So very useful stuff. So just imagine those gold mesh spheres, and they could be ripped or just have junk on them. So just wash off your gold mesh spheres and let them repair. So that's we've been doing it already, but this is gold mesh spheres GMS. especially if you have a chronic tension area or a chronic injury area. Check your gold mesh spheres around that area and repair them. All right, good job. Okay, creative rings, CR. Those are 3 gold rings above your astral body head. 1, 2, 3. And they come and go with you as a spirit, and they generate gold light and send it downward. So that gold light, hopefully, too, is like a force field right within the rings as well. So it just helps to protect this whole area here. But we'll also repair this area here, which would be the 7th chakra is in the head, in the top of the head. So we'll repair both astral and physical body 7th chakras. And GV meridian is the governing vessel meridian in traditional Chinese medicine. It helps to manage all your yang meridians. Yang energy helps, with self-assertiveness, complements your yin energy. So that's nice. So that top part here, we'll repair that. In addition to the point, the acupuncture point at the top of the meridian, GV20, it's a chakra. All those acupuncture points are chakras, so we'll repair that point in particular because it's cool. So you can just make a copy of all of that, your creative rings, both your 7th chakras, which are oriented this way, round up putting in the top and the bottom, your 7th chakras. Purple is a nice color for your 7th chakra, an ideal color. So just check for any damage to your creative rings or your 7th chakras. Damage meaning cracks, missing chunks, hard objects stuck in them. We can do sticky gold wax through all that and through your GV, the top of your GV meridian and your GV20 acupuncture point. Just sticky gold wax all of that and have the wax stick to everything that's not you. Pull out the junk. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax your creative rings, including the inner part of them. Sticky gold wax your 7th chakras, your top of your GV meridian and your GV20 acupuncture point. Pull out the junk with the wax. Angels, here you go. Here the top of that GV meridian. Looks like a nice flowy, flexible red river. And your GV20 acupuncture point. Red is a nice color for any acupuncture point and any traditional Chinese medicine meridian. Repair both astral and physical 7th chakras. Of course, as you do it, you're melting cords with gold light. And as you melt the cords, that helps those flaps to relax. That's what flaps look like when they are not relaxed. They stick out like that. So this would be like a top-down view of your creative rings when your flaps are irritated. So you also have flaps around the round openings of the major chakras. So just melt enough cord so that the flaps relax and fall shut, so it's a nice smooth surface. That way it's harder for people to cord you. Your GV meridian, anywhere really, but we're working on the top of it. It can get like a burnt, sort of dented in crust from punishment. So just melt that away with lots of gold light and then repair that area so that it's red and flowy without leaks. like a red flowy tube. All right, good enough. Good job. Okay, so we'll do chakra repair and unblocking in general and to help the theme. And we will, as part of that chakra unblocking, we will melt away CMR's chakra mud flaps, which is a new little cute term that I made in the first filling of the set. And it just means that you can have, like, rather than just a flowy, like, surface of water here in the round openings of the major chakras, you can have like a hard crust. And if you have rings, chakra mud rings, I'm calling them, around here that, you know, sort of elevate the lip of it, then more junk can accumulate more easily and it's harder to wash it out or scoop it out. You just get rid of those artificial chakra mud rings that are, you know, right here on the outer perimeter, and they're not a part of the natural part of the chakra. You just melt them away with gold light. Then some of that junk just automatically can release. And those can be at either round opening. So anyway, you can make a chakra shape, just like I showed you. Round open cylinder. Open cylinder. And have it represent, with your intention, have it represent all your major and minor chakras of your body and spirit, including all the little acupuncture points. And use gold light from your hands, repair any damage that you have. Melt cords, let the flaps relax around the round openings. Melt the CMRs, the chakra mud rings. Sometimes people can place those chakra mud rings on the chakras, but other times it's just how they just build up that way. When somebody cords you and they keep sending energy just ends up, you know, building up like a residue, making these chakra mud rings. So, but you don't have to worry how they got there. Just use gold light so that whatever doesn't belong there can melt away. You might have to melt cords going into it from other people. You can have baggage wrapped around the chakra or stuffed in the chakra or around the round openings. You could just imagine like a heavy sleeve of baggage wrapped around the chakra and use enough gold light that it melts away. Couple deep breaths. You can have invasive beings that are in the way of you getting this work done. So you can ask your angels. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are in the way of this work? Plus, you could have invasive beings that moved away temporarily, but they're planning on coming back. So just imagine those guys like little clouds that moved off, but think they're clever and they're waiting. And the angels, can you recycle all those beings? All right, good job. Yep, good job. And you could unblock for the theme. We announced the theme, so that probably meant that the theme related blocks were triggered, therefore we were already clearing them, but just in case, we'll do a little extra. So lift out any blocks in your chakras that are healthy and gentle to get rid of, that are in the way of you being more of a spiritual badass. Lift that out. You can blow them up. You can melt them with gold light. Lift out any blocks to the extent that's healthy and gentle in the way of you being a spiritual badass. Melt them away. Out the blocks. Melt them away. Out the blocks. Hand them to your angels if you want. Lift out the blocks. Hand them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with these? All right. Good job. Okie dokie. So this is what I generally call the fifth essential. It was grounding, or repair, creative ring repair, chakra repair, and now good karma window work in the back, in addition to flow zone work, which is in the back here of in the physical body aura, including the physical body neck and inside and around it. And then the base of skull points, those acupuncture points back here. All right, so good karma windows, they look like triple frame windows or concentric squares. Directly behind the base of your skull and the top of your neck. There's 7 of them, 1 in each astral body aura layer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You just use gold light and repair them and unblock them. You can have energy that works its way through them and kind of anchors into your upper chakras or your base of skull points. So you don't want that. So it can like work its way through and then anchor in here somewhere. So just be aware of where it's anchored and the energy coming through, and just lift it all out at once. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Lift all that out. Angels, here you go. If you are having a symptom that seems really stubborn and you've already addressed the chakras that normally would cause that symptom, for example, anxiety, first chakra, you can check your first chakra filament, but then you can also check your first chakra good karma window in back there. First aura layer, good karma window. And you say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing at all with the good karma windows, can you please recycle them? Angels, here you go. So that's good karma windows, which, like I said, are back here in your astral body aura. So then your flow zone, your physical body aura in that same area, and then also including in and around your neck. So comb through there. There's no windows there. It's just the aura layers of your physical body aura. So you want to make sure there's no hard chunks, no blocks. If there are, you just melt them away with gold light, or you could blow them up. And the area in and around your neck, melt away blocks. You could have agreements that that is appearing how much you can unblock this area. So you could just imagine those in whatever way amuses you, but you could imagine, one way is to imagine them as a stack of paper, all the unhealthy agreements that cause you to keep this area blocked up, and just melt the stack of paper with gold light, melt all those agreements away. Agreements can be ended. You can end any spiritual agreement. You could say, you know, angels, is it okay to end all these agreements? And they'll remove any that they don't want you to end, and then just melt them all away. These agreements can be from past lives. They could be from times when you were not making the best decisions. You didn't have a lot of power, so you felt like you had no choice. Now that those agreements are clear, you can see how much more you're able to unblock in your flow zone and in and around your neck, including in and around your neck. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. All right. Real quickly, just heal and repair the base of skull points. So those are the points that you see on the diagram as dots. One row of them is level with the top of the ear, and one row of them is level with the bottom of the ear. Those are all chakras, those little dots, minor chakras, acupuncture points. They're oriented this way. The shape is like a cylinder, open cylinder. So you just repair them, gold light, unblock them. They might be kind of crushed. You can heal them so that they get to their proper size. When you the teal blue line, the teal blue green line right there, because it's like a gray line, yellow, teal blue green. So that's the teal blue green. That's the gallbladder meridian, which I put briefly right there. Shoulder swoop, gallbladder 19, 20, 21. So 19 and 20, those are the part of the base of skull points there on the green line. But then the 21 is where it, bam, bam, it goes down to the inner front shoulder there. So you can just heal that shoulder swoop part of the GB meridian, gallbladder meridian, while you're at it. Okay, good job. Woohoo! Good job. The shoulders, as I described in the intro, we're unblocking the aura in certain areas, specific areas of a V pattern going upward. So this part of both astral and physical body auras, but typically we're focused more on physical body aura unblocking with this. So that would be the V pattern. Not Y, V. That would be the V pattern right there. And then the X pattern is like an X lying down. So this is half of the X, the other half of the X is. So it would be like a, X. So it's like here, 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 and here. Straight out the level of the shoulder. Here and right here. So anyway, those areas in particular, I mean, you want to unblock all around the shoulders, but those areas in particular seem to have real effective blocks there that can jam up the whole thing. We don't want. So that's X and V. And then the shoulder pads, like big football player shoulder pads, American football shoulder pads, those you can have blocks right there that obviously you don't want either. So that's the pads, shoulder pads. But then okay, but then there's another sort of blockage pattern that I want to look at too. I'm going to start with that one. So it's like if you look at your shoulders, you just imagine a copy out in front of you, and then you can have like a sort of a tree trunk thing, but not in a good way. Normally tree trunk is like a positive image, right? But you can have hard objects up here, I mean, you can have energy blocks anywhere, right? But energy blocks up here, I've always said, are like especially in the way, like straight above your head in these aura layers. But they can cause, just like energy blocks here can cause energy to like kind of leapfrog in and anchor into your upper chakras and your base of skull points. Same thing with energy blocks up here, can cause energy, external energy to come in more easily because of the blocks. And then they kind of anchor in, and then they can branch out into your shoulders and kind of get a good grip on your shoulders. So it's not like, oh my God, there are all these scary beings owning my shoulders. It can be like people. It can even be, overwhelming, invasive energies that come through political stuff, addiction energy, whatever, So it's just, junk that can come through and grip the shoulders, sort of like a negative tree trunk, where here's like the base, like I think it's called the flare of the tree. It's like the roots that are above ground. The tree flare. So there's the tree flare part of it, and there's the trunk part of it, and if those blocks weren't there, it'd be a lot harder for that to occur. So just imagine your head and your, like this part of your body, right? And then the aura above your head. And I'm just going to call them your tree trunk blocks there. It's just you're unblocking above your head, but you're getting rid of blocks that allow that, invasive tree trunk pattern to occur. And you could like kind of grip the trunk of the tree and the tree flare part of it, and around your shoulders, just lift it out. Angels, here you go. Grip the trunk part above your head, lift out the root part around your shoulders. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. And we can alternate between that and other things, other, you know, shoulder patterns that we're doing. But two, if you have, I said I would keep doing the agreement part. So maybe you have some oppressive spiritual agreements from that you made, that make it not possible for you to unblock your tree trunk blocks up there. So you can imagine, like, if you have any, like a stack of, you know, pieces of paper, and each one represents one of these unhealthy agreements that's preventing you from, you know, being more energetically safe right there. Right. So just imagine all those unhealthy agreements, if you have any, and just say, angels, is it okay to clear all these? So that way, you know, any that for some reason you're not ready yet to clear, they'll remove. And then you can just use cold light and melt all the agreements. Just, you know, agreements can be melted. That's the whole point. You have free will. And, you know, if it's an unhealthy agreement and your angels think it's great for you to melt right now, why not? Okay, so we melted those agreements. So try that again above your head. Just look for, I'll call them tree trunk energy blocks. Hope people don't mind me using the image of a tree in a negative way at this moment. I love trees, but anyway. Just it happens to look like kind of like a tree trunk with the tree flare on your shoulders. So anyway, melting the tree trunk energy blocks. You can check layer by layer, 7th layer, 6th layer, 5th layer, 4th layer. Melt the tree trunk blocks above your head in your 4th layer, 3rd layer. Melt cords going into these blocks from other people. Melt the blocks, 3rd layer above your head, 2nd layer above your head, 1st layer above your head. So right there, right above you. And you can just grip the trunk of the tree and the roots going into your shoulders, lift it out. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. If you have any invasive beings that are just won't give it up, won't go away, who have that, who are being invasive in that area, just imagine them like clouds and just say, angels, can you recycle these beings? Or they could be, you know, not far off clouds, but, you know, part of that tree trunk thing. So just, angels, can you recycle all this? So that was the tree trunk part. So I'm just gonna, I guess, put it in parentheses now because we already did it. I don't want to show that somehow. We already did it. Then we'll do the X and we'll do the V and the X and the shoulder pad, melt all that stuff. So I was noticing, especially, well, really both, I guess. But let's clear any agreements too in the way of you unblocking your X area, your V area, or your shoulder pads, right? So if you have any unhealthy agreements that make it not possible for you to melt all those blocks and liberate your shoulders and you're manifesting, just stack those agreements up out in front of you and just say, angels, can you double check that it's okay and good for me to clear all these right now? That way, any agreements that are still there, you get the angel yes, and just melt them away with cold light. Okay, and then check the V area. So the V area goes straight up well, it goes up at an angle like that. So 7th layer, 6th, 7th layer, 6th layer, 5th layer, 3rd layer, 1st layer, right? So just check. If you have any invasive beings in the way, say angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this process, can you please recycle them? And melt quartz going into these blocks. If they're not melting, you know, that could be the difference. Find the lump, melt cords going into it from other people, melt the blocks. Find the lump, melt the cords, melt the block. Hold deep breaths, breathe into your shoulders, breathe into your legs and your knees and your hips and your toes. So the X stuff, again, it's straight out. It's at the level of like the inner shoulder, and but it goes out diagonally in the front and then in the back. So like looking at the top down, it would look like an X. And just check out that area, start to unblock it. And imagine agreements, any unhealthy spiritual agreements that you have that are making it not possible for you to unblock that area. Just pile up those agreements. Say, angels, is it okay to clear all these agreements? And then any that are still there, yes, it's good to clear them. So go ahead, use gold light. Melt them away. You can keep putting more agreements out in front of you if there are any more agreements in the way of you unblocking your X area. Any more unhealthy agreements, and just say, angels, is it okay and healthy to clear all these right now? And then just melt them away with gold light. A lot of them could be from past lives. Anyway, just you can check your X area one layer at a time. 7, 6, 5. Melt cords going into the blocks, melt the blocks. 3. Third layer all around your shoulders. Check for those blocks in the X area. Melt cords going into those blocks, melt the blocks. 2nd layer, 1st layer. You can do 2nd and 1st layer together. Melt cords going into the blocks, melt the blocks. The whole point of this is A, to release physical shoulder tension, but B, to help you be more present, your astral body, help your astral body fit better into your physical body, shoulders and neck, and to help you bring in new energy through this area of yours, new energy of yours, new positive change energy. So then you have this really powerful flow in your neck and shoulders, and it helps you manifest bigger things. Again, that X area. Find any blocks that are preventing you from bringing in the good stuff. And melt them away with gold light. Could do a little bit of checking, a little simple massage for check for shoulder tension. And if you still have some shoulder tension, does not mean you did it all wrong. Imagine, you know, you are clearing lifetimes of blocks. You can imagine your tension areas and then just kind of comb through, find the blocks that are still keeping it locked up. Again, if there are any unhealthy agreements that you have that are in the way of you unblocking this area and getting more present and better with your manifesting, just pile up those unhealthy agreements. Say, angels, is it okay and healthy to clear all these right now? And just melt them all with gold light. So again, be aware of any tension and just kind of find the part of your aura that's most locking up that area. Melt the cords going into those blocks. Melt the block. Shoulder pads. So like football shoulder pads, US football shoulder pads. You can have blocks that look like that above your shoulders, so you can melt those away. If you have any unhealthy agreements that make it hard for you to melt those away, just imagine those unhealthy agreements. Say, angels, is it okay and healthy to clear these right now? And just melt them away with lots of gold light. Because you have free will. Okay to end old agreements that are not healthy for you. So imagine those shoulder pad blocks and just melt them away so that you liberate your shoulders and you liberate yourself so you can bring in all that you're trying to manifest. If there's stuff of your energy that needs to be in your neck and shoulders, you want it to be able to come in. You might have people cording these shoulder pad blocks, so just melt the cords and then melt the blocks. You say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in these areas, can you please recycle them? And you can comb through inside your neck and shoulders. Unblock. Melt away blocks with gold light. And I thought about it, and this time I'm not going to do the shoulder traditional Chinese medicine meridians beyond. I mentioned a little bit that the GB swoop, gallbladder swoop. But if here's an image of the meridians in the upper back and shoulders and head, if you did want to freeze frame it and work on your own, you could. Okay. Yeah. So again, check that tree trunk area. So check for blocks above the top of your head that enable energy to get invasive energy to get that far, and then from there to come into your shoulders. So we don't want that. So just check for blocks like that above your head and melt them away. And you can just any invasive energy that's kind of rooting in your shoulders from above, you can just grip it. The angels, can you recycle all this? Angels, can you recycle all this? You can comb, you can stretch and comb through your aura at the same time if you want. I don't know if that is a good thing or a bad thing for you, stretching and combing, like say your V area at the same time. Again, melt people's cords going into the blocks and melt the blocks. Just because that might be easier. If the blocks aren't going away, melt the cords going into them first, and then melt the block. And you could have hard objects sticking out of that area, you know, like or like a spear kind of thing, right in your V, the part of your V area right there. But you can also have hard objects that aren't so obvious, that are because they don't stick out into the aura, so they just kind of plug up right there. So just check, you know, that area or wherever is most tense for you on your shoulders and neck, and just see if you have any sort of, I'm going to call them plug devices because they don't stick out. And just grip those in gold light, lift them out. Angels, here you go. Grip them. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. And check for invasive beings, because if you had plug devices, you probably were leaking, which means you probably have some invasive beings. So angels, can you recycle any invasive beings connected to this area in any way? And then without the devices plugging it up, without the invasive beings in the way, it should be easier to repair any holes in your shoulders. So again, pop out the plug devices. Angels, can you recycle the beings? Heal any wounds, especially where your neck meets your shoulders. All right, good job. Good job, good job. Woohoo. You're a rock star. All right. So that was working the shoulders. We did the tree trunk pattern first. Then we did all the others, and then we added tree trunk again. All right. Mhm. Okay, so I said we were going to do this in between each major thing, and so let's do it. So empty unprocessed stress pots, USP, unprocessed stress pots. So those, you just imagine them out in front of you. They represent, you don't actually have pots in your space, but they represent your capacity for handling stress and processing new unexpected events in your life, things that occur that you didn't predict, just whatever. Shit happens, right? And if you're too backlogged in old shit, then you don't have any headspace for new shit. And so it can really affect your irritability and how focused you are, how light and bouncy your mood is, how highly functioning you are. So just imagine all your unprocessed stress pots, your capacity for, having stuff that you can't process instantly, but still coping with it well, right? So you may have 40 stress pots, maybe 20, maybe 80, maybe 10, whatever. And you want to empty them all. You want to catch up and process all of that. So they're completely empty and ready so you're ready for whatever, right? So just bring up red earth energy, soak your unprocessed stress pots, melt cords going into your unprocessed stress pots from other people, and melt the contents away with gold light. And this is something that, if you feel like a lot of times your life is a little bit too much for you, you could do this like 4 times a day. I mean, you could, you don't have to listen to a recording to do it. Imagine the pots, red earth energy, melt cords, gold light, they're empty. Bam, I'm done, right? So just, let's do it. And it could be, you don't have to do them 4 times a day for the rest of your life, but, maybe until you feel like you've kind of caught up with life. So empty those pots, and you can have pots that you've been kind of ignoring, like, oh, ma, that's not happening, ma. So especially those, because those are probably the fullest. Right? So the unprocessed stress pots you've been really ignoring and you're in denial about, go ahead and empty those. They're just as easy to melt the junk, bring up red earth energy, melt cords going into them from other people. Because chances are you're ignoring them on a spirit level, but nobody else is. So melt the cords going into them and empty those pots. Melt. What's in it? Get rid of it. All right. What a rock star. Okay. So then STEBs, stubborn triggered energy blocks. Those are just energy blocks that are still around, that are triggered, that are annoying you on some level or freaking you out on some. So just pile all those out in front of you, all these stubborn triggered energy blocks. Bring up red earth energy, soak them, melt cords going into them from other people. Melt away your resistance from the pile. Melt away other people's energy in the pile so that the energy blocks can finally clear. You could blow them up if they're not clearing. And if they're really, really, really still not clearing, you can give them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with these? All right. Good job. You are a rock star. So now, hopefully you're refreshed and ready. So we'll do digestion in 2 ways. We'll do the garden, imagine it as a garden, and we'll do what are you holding on to. So with this holding on to thing, you don't have to know what it is, but it's kind of fun to use your intuition, even if you feel like you're guessing. But the bottom line is you clear it, right? So just imagine, you can imagine it out in a gold blanket out in front of you, far out in front of you if you don't want to feel it. Or I like to be very tactile with it, so I like to imagine it in my hand. But what is unhealthy that your physical body digestive system is holding on to. So physical body digestion, stomach, intestines, all the supporting organs, and in traditional Chinese medicine, meridians and acupuncture points that help your digestive system. So what sort of metaphysical thing are you holding on to? Was it an insult from somebody, a problem, a fear? What is it? And just one thing, you know, and you can be aware of what it is if you want. And you could blow it up. You could melt it with gold light, gold fire, gold water. And you could also hand it to your angels. The angels help me with this. So imagine something else that your digestive system is holding on to that's totally unhealthy. It'd be awesome if you just cut it out. Stop doing that. Right? And so you can take a moment and imagine, is it from a past life? Is it from this life? It could be a past life grudge from somebody, something that was very important at the time, but now is totally not, and wasting your power. So again, you can blow it up, you can melt it with gold light, or you can hand it to your angels, ask them for help with it. Imagine something else that your digestive system, your physical body digestive system is holding on to, rather than, you know, just helping you be strong and ready for anything and digest food. So what is your digestive system holding on to that's unhealthy? And whatever it is, you could say, angels, can you help me with this? Or blow it up or melt it with gold. Couple deep breaths, breathe into your legs, breathe into your spine, breathe into your stomach and your intestines. All right, good job. So let's feel it as a garden. Why not? Unless you hate gardens, in which case do a pie chart or something. A graph, some kind of whatever you like. A beach. So you can imagine a garden that represents your digestive system. So it can be your spirit energy too that's supposed to help you with digestion, but your physical body energy that's supposed to help you with digestion, including small intestine, large intestine, stomach, traditional Chinese medicine meridians that help. And so you imagine that garden, and then you can just heal it. You can get rid of stuff that really shouldn't be there. Lift it out, give it to the angels. Angels, here you go. Lift it out. Angels, here you go. And if there are any agreements, spiritual agreements that are in the way of you, you know, transforming your digestive system in the healthiest, most gentle way possible, just imagine those agreements like a big stack out in front of you. These unhealthy agreements barring you from making progress with your digestive system. And to angels, I said, okay, healthy and gentle to clear all these right now. So that way they'll remove any that are not. And that means anything that's left over, all those agreements are good to melt away right now with gold light. Just melt them away. You have free will. Doesn't matter how old the agreement is or how scared you were at the moment. It's okay to clear it right now. Because you're a big, brave, eternal soul. All right. Go ahead and fill your digestive garden. You can look at the sky above your digestive garden. And if there's anything about it you don't like, too many clouds, whatever, just get rid of all that. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. So you have nice, sunny, pleasant weather for yourself. Your digestive garden, or whatever weather you like. You could have somebody who's a little threatened by you, maybe. You know, we have all sorts of names for these people: shutdown people, or setback people, or backlash people, right? So maybe somebody has thrown some punishment at your digestive system, so you can notice it in your garden. You know, it can look like bombs in your garden, or big spears through your garden, or you know, some big thing that was thrown into your garden. So just scoop out whatever doesn't belong there. Angels, here you go. Scoop it out. Angels, here you go. Scoop it out. Angels, here you go. And then just use lots of gold light. You can use red earth energy, orange earth energy, yellow earth energy. And just heal and restore. You can have some fears impacting your digestive system. So you can imagine that in your garden however you want. You know, maybe it's a big scary hole that's, you know, where you keep all your fears, and you can just clear all that. Just use lots of gold light and melt everything away. Get rid of your fear hole in your garden. You could say, angels, if there are any invasive beings anywhere in this garden, can you please recycle them, especially right here? So you don't have to have any bottled up fear, bottled up emotion, bottled up grief in your digestive garden. You can just melt it all away. You deserve safe and healthy digestion. All right, good job. Woohoo. Okay, so this will be another in-between one right before we do chakra filament work. Let's just have a little refresher. We'll do empty unprocessed stress pots again. We'll do clear STEBs, and we'll unblock grounding. But with less explanation this time, because we already did a lot of that before. So first, grounding. Double check your grounding. You can recreate both your groundings, red or orange or yellow. You can make them a brand new color if you want. And go ahead and check for any backlog. Maybe there was a clog and things started piling up in your grounding. So just melt that clog so there's no pileups anymore. Just lots of nice, good, strong, fast flow downward in your grounding. You can also unblock the bottom of all your auras. We worked on unblocking the upper part, but you can also unblock the lower part, and that does help with releasing. So unblock your auras beneath your feet. Okay, empty unprocessed stress pots. So you imagine pots out in front of you that represent your capacity for processing new events and dealing with whatever comes. And notice if they're full or partially full because you haven't finished processing other stuff, and catch up. Just ground them all with red earth energy. Use gold light and melt the contents of your unprocessed stress pots. Melt any cords going into the pots, especially if they're not emptying quickly. and STEBs, just pile up out in front of you. Any stubborn triggered energy blocks that still haven't cleared. Red earth energy, soak them with red earth energy, melt cords going into them with gold light, and melt the blocks. Or blow them up. Again, put out in front of you any STEBs, stubborn triggered energy blocks, melt them away. Any that haven't yet cleared, give them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with these? All right, good job. Okay, so first we'll just do a little bit of quick chakra repair in case you need it. We did chakra repair already, but you know, sometimes as you clear agreements or whatever, you may get a little swipe from somebody. So it's nice to repair that quickly. So you just imagine all one image of a chakra and have it, with your intention, have it represent all your major and minor chakras. And go ahead and repair all your chakras. Melt cords going into them. Get rid of hard objects that may have been thrown at you. Angels, here you go. Melt cords. Melt your CMRs, chakra mud rings, which are just little artificial extra lip around the round opening that make the crud pile up more. So melt those away. Air with gold light, melt cords, relax the flaps. Okay. Chakra filaments can also get harmed as well. We're going to unblock them, but first just check if they need repair. They could be slashed or ripped up a little bit. So you imagine both sets of your 7 major chakras, imagine them separately, so then you can have a visual, nice image of the connection between them. So astral 7th, physical 7th, doesn't matter which side they're on, and then the 7th chakra filament that connects them, 6, the filament that connects them, 5, filament, yada yada. 7 through 1. Just use lots of gold light and repair and unblock those filaments. Yeah, and they could get pretty beat up, potentially. Definitely melt cords going into them from other people. Your chakra filaments are in a very, very invasive and potentially very damaging place for someone to cord you. If you have any invasive beings connected to these filaments, just say, angels, can you recycle all the beings in the way of this work? Or can you recycle any being connected to the filaments? Or the major chakras? All right, so then now the unblocking that we that's somewhat new is we're extra mindful of that you could have past life fears or present life fears stuck in the filaments, and that can really affect even like your ability to do exercise, as I talked about in the last healing. So you can have fear. So just wash out the fears with gold light that are stuck in your filaments. Examples of those fears could be fear of physical injury, fear of feeling, fear of experiencing, and that could be fear of feeling sexual pleasure, but it could be fear of, you know, feeling bad things, feeling abuse, or just feeling sadness, feeling anger. You know, just wash away the fear of feeling, because this really gets in the way of everything. Because if you are afraid of feeling like, say, fear, then now you have 3 problems, because you have an anxiety issue, and then you're scared, you're extra scared and freaking out because you have an anxiety issue. So it's, you know, it's a mess. Then we get rid of all the fears out of your chakra filaments. And you may have some agreements, spiritual agreements, that are in the way of you improving the flow of these chakra filaments and improving your major chakras, right? So just imagine any unhealthy agreements in the way, like a stack of papers, and just say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all these right now? So that way your angels will remove any that maybe is too much for today to do. So that means any agreements that are left are healthy and gentle and, you know, to clear right now. So just use a lot of gold light and melt these agreements. And you know, you could have been in some like weird situation, you know, where maybe somebody who trusted you, who you trusted, wasn't perfect, you know, and they had some subconscious imbalances that caused them to create oppressive or codependent agreements with you. So you don't have to worry about it, but there's just so many reasons why you might have unhealthy agreements that, you know, you can get rid of. It's okay. So just imagine those agreements that are unhealthy, that are in the way of you improving your chakra filaments and your chakras. And again, angels, is it okay, healthy and gentle, beneficial for me to clear all these right now? And then go ahead and melt them with gold light. All right, good job. So another thing, in addition to clearing fear, is clearing out just rules from other people, maybe, you know, morality rules that other people have, or, you know, social rules, religious rules, whatever. If it's from somebody else and it's in your space, it's going to block you up a lot. You may actually even on principle agree with whatever they shoved in your space, but it's the fact that they shoved something in your space that's going to trip you up. So just go ahead, melt away all the rules from other people out of your chakra filaments. Like, I used to know someone who taught meditation, and that person really didn't care about being invasive and controlling and manipulative, because they thought it was for the best. If they were manipulating somebody to meditate regularly, then, you know, they're better off than they were. So, you know, whatever. But it completely violates somebody's free will, and they're not really learning then. They're just getting a different style of control, right? So you can have even pieces of energy like that, like, you should meditate, you should heal yourself, you know. But if it's somebody else's energy, it's going to get in the way of your free will and your learning. So just anyone else's energy in your filaments, even if you got some of mine in there, you know, just wash it out. Nobody else's energy belongs in your chakra filaments. Lots of gold light. Melt it out so that way you can get nice communication between your physical body and your spirit, you as a spirit. All right. Good job. So now you can imagine, just because sometimes if you imagine your astral body chakras outside of your physical body chakras, you may literally move that way. So you're out of your body. You don't have to do that. That's not beneficial, but just in case, go ahead and imagine, the chakras as they are now with astral body chakras in the physical body chakras. And maybe you're not fully present in the lower chakras, but, you can move out any energy blocks in the way of you being more present that are healthy and gentle to get rid of and melt those blocks. So I call that chakra fit, where you want the astral body chakra to nicely and gently and happily fit into the physical body's chakra. So 7 into 7, 6 into 6, all the way down to 1 into 1. And then you would be fully present if they all fit. But don't force anything. Just unblock enough and melt enough baggage, melt enough cords so that more and more of your chakras, astral body chakras, fit into your physical body chakras. So then you can be more and more present. And use a nice wide band of gold light through your chakras, so that you're aligning your chakras and also aligning the magnetic force fields around your major chakras. So they all sort of click into place. Makes all the chakras stronger. All right, good job. Woo, woo, woo. Give a little double confetti. Yay, you're a rock star. Woohoo, you did it. Woo! So I'm going to take a quick look at a sample person just to make sure what we should be doing next in the healing. Okay, I'm going to get some of my awesome little visual aid models for a second before we do the next awesome thing. We're almost done, but this will be the final awesome thing. Oh, hold on. All right, so I have these super fun if you're a total geek, they're fun. Like I am. Model. So this is female hips, although they're not as big as mine. So I don't know. These might be exactly the size of your hips if you're a lady, or maybe they're too petite if you're like me. Got big bones. But anyway. So this is the back part, like you know, the spine comes down, and this is the sacrum right here. Bunch of vertebrae that fuse together. I think by the time you're like 25 or something, these are, your sacrum is solid. Fun fact. But I'll have to confirm how old it is when they're finally fused together. But anyway, these are the ilium bones right here. Oh, wait. Sorry about that. So, I already explained a little bit, whatever. So this is hips, right? This is the model of your hips. Spine is here. This is the sacrum. These awesome things are ilium bones. I am kind of in love with them. So this is one big bone right here, and then this is another big bone right here. I'm kind of in love with them. I don't know why, really. I mean, they're just cool and big, and bones vibrate, and so you can unblock them, and they like resonate, and you can vibrate them with your, you know, your good energy, and so it kind of makes your body more feel like it's your own, and it's a fun place to be for you. So I guess that's why I like them. All right, so we will be unblocking and just enjoying some pelvis healing. And if you're a guy, your pelvis pretty much looks this way too, except I think maybe the ilium bones aren't quite so big because you don't have to, your body is not about to have a child. But I haven't had children in this life. So, you know, it's just cool. Not all about having children. And then your knee, this model is so cool. I love it. I got these models on Amazon. If anyone wants the link, just let me know. I could post it later. So, how cool is that? It shows like the kneecap in there. I don't know if you can see it. But see that, the kneecap bone right in there? And these are like your tendons, your ligaments or whatever. I'm not sure. And then the stuff inside. Oh, it's so super. Anyway. So, like I said, you know, all this stuff can be unblocked and healed, and you can get rid of other people's energy, their cords, devices, whatever. So you have good flow through them, because it's really important. You want good flow literally from head to toe, you know, from head to fingertips to head to toe. You know, however your body needs to flow and communicate, it should be unobstructed enough so that that's possible. That helps you be more mellow. You know, if you have bottlenecks here and there, like things kind of get more intense and weird. So since we did a lot of shoulder unblocking, and you probably have a lot of good stuff coming in from that, and we did chakra filament stuff, you know, all along your spine. I think the shoulders and knee and leg work, physical pelvis and knee and leg work, meaning unblocking and healing, would be a really strengthening combo. That's explaining. So let's do it. All right. So, imagine your hips, your beautiful pelvic bones, fabulous that they are, fabulous and amazing, right? Your sacrum, your ilium bones, your Your hip joint is right in here, like the big femur bone goes right in there. So cool. So anyway, just imagine your pelvis area, just the bones and all the muscles and ligaments and stuff. And you can bring up red earth energy and soak all of it with red earth energy. And just use gold light and just be a badass, be the boss, you know? Nobody else's energy belongs in this area. I mean, okay, fine. If you're flirting on a sexual level and you are, you know, of an appropriate age, yeah, sure, there can be recreational courting, what I call, which is, if it's healthy, it's temporary courting. It's not like 24/7 forever, because it really gets in the way of your manifesting and who you are and your identity and your individuation, which is, you know, I guess for some people that's what they want. But if you want spiritual freedom and, you know, growth and all that, the cords would be temporary. They could keep coming back for fun, but then they're temporary. You have time without the cords, plenty of time without the cords. So you can be you and then join and play sexually if you wish, but then separate and be you and then join and play you know, whatever. You get it. So it may have been TMI for some people, but anyway. So just wash everybody out. You know, if you're flirting with someone, just tell them, you know, you're amazingly sexy. I need a timeout. You're so sexy. I need a timeout. See you soon. You are just that hot that I need a break. Need an intermission. How about that? So go ahead and heal your pelvic bones, your fabulous, amazing pelvis bones, your sacrum, your spine. We'll get a little spine diagram there that might inspire you. Your spine, and then your sacrum, and then the ilium bone. So it's like you want a flow that goes down and goes out to the ilium bones and down the legs and then all the way back up again. So you just, I mean, the natural flow. So just look for any blocks in the way of that natural flow of, you know, through your body's muscles, through your body's nerves. You know, so you can unblock and heal the nerves in your lower torso and your hips and your legs. And your this shows the lower leg, how you have two bones in your lower leg, two big long bones, and then one big bone for your thigh bone, your upper leg, and then your kneecap right there. So just unblock your legs and the bones and the nerves, the muscles, tendons. If you're holding on to anything, I guess that's something too we could do, because we did, you know, what's your digestive system holding on to? So what are the muscles? Is there anything unhealthy that would be really good to get rid of right now that you're, let's say just your knees even, that you're holding on to in your knees? You know, what are you unhealthy that you're holding on to in your knees? And just melt it away with lots of gold light. What's unhealthy that you're holding on to in your knees? And just, you could blow it up, you could melt it with gold light, you could give it to your angels, ask them for help with it. Now, do you have any spiritual agreements that are in the way, any unhealthy spiritual agreements that are in the way of you unblocking all that we're doing right now? Spine, pelvic bones, leg bones, kneecaps, knees, all that good stuff, muscles, tendons, nerves. So any unhealthy agreements in the way of that, angels, just ask your angels, is it okay, healthy and gentle, to clear all this right now? All these agreements? So any left still, that's a yes. And so then just go ahead and melt the agreements with gold light. You could have been raised by somebody in this life or a past life that had a lot of sort of extreme irrational fears, and they may have forced you when you were a kid into a lot of like overly oppressive, unhealthy agreements. And those agreements don't clear until you clear them. You know, so you could have had 3 lives since then and the agreement's still there. So go ahead, imagine any agreements in the way of you sort of liberating your lower part of your body, your pelvis on down, and just imagine all those unhealthy agreements. Angels, is it healthy and gentle and positive to clear all these right now? So anything left still is a yes, right? And then just melt them away with gold light. You have free will. Okay. All right. So again, just if you need to do a little stretching, that's fine. Spine, pelvis bones, your fabulous, amazing pelvis bones, your leg bones, fabulous, amazing leg bones, your knee joints, your ankles, your feet. You have a lot of fabulous joints in your feet, all sorts of bones in your feet and joints, tendons, muscles, nerves. All your traditional Chinese medicine meridians either begin or end in your feet. Like, how amazing is that? I think that's true. All the regular meridians. 12 regular ones. So heal your feet. All the nerves in your feet, all the meridians in your feet, your legs. You can unblock your auras around your pelvis, unblock your auras around your legs and your knees and your feet. All right, good enough. What a rock star are you? Woo-hoo, rock star, rock star. So just unblock your grounding, a little extra. Check for traffic jams, melt them away with gold light. So now we'll do the wrap up, including empty unprocessed stress pots and clear STEBs, which we've done 2 times already in this healing. More the merrier. Wow. So check your whole body, head to toe, including arms and fingers. Comb through. So comb through your nervous system, comb through your skeletal system. Use red earth energy also. Bring up red earth energy. Give your bones a nice soak. Give your nervous system a nice soak. Give your muscles a nice soak with red earth energy. Comb through your auras above your head and above the top of your aura. Comb through there. You could have some big pieces of energy dumped on the top of your aura. You can melt those. Check your shoulders again, the V pattern and the X pattern. Unblock there. If some blocks are not clearing, melt the cords going into them. And then melt them. Or just grip them and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. X pattern, so this way and that way, the level of your shoulders, unblock your auras in that X area. Which we already did in detail earlier. A little extra. The idea is the more you unblock there, the more the tension lifts out of your shoulders and the more you can bring new, good manifesting energy in and yourself in here. Deep breaths, breathe into your pelvic bones, your hips, toes. Imagine your unprocessed stress pots. See how full they are. I explained it so many times, so I'm not going to explain them. But just bring up red earth energy, soak them, melt the cords going into them with gold light. Empty them out. Empty all of them out, especially the ones that you like to ignore. And by empty out, I mean fully melt the contents of those stress pots. All right, great job. You're a rock star. You can blow those up because they're just symbolic representations of your ability to handle new stresses and process current stresses and past stresses. STEBs. Stack up out in front of you. Any stubborn triggered energy blocks that still have not cleared, but are annoying you in some way, upsetting you in some way, just melt them with gold light. Melt the cords going into them from other people. All right. As we wrap up, just ask your angels. Angels, hello. Can you please give me healing? You help me to wrap up this healing experience? Can you help me be more of a spiritual badass? Alrighty. You're amazing. Woohoo! That's a healing. Go, go, go. Don't feel bad if you're only doing part of the healing yourself. For self-healing, it's okay. We're doing a lot in these healings. Oh, and I don't think I've asked this already. If you could... Sorry. If you could give this live stream a thumbs up, that definitely helps. And here's my thumbs up for you. You're amazing. Okay, let's go back to that. All right. So I'm going to check chat comments that I missed. If you have any chat comments that you want to put about the theme or what we did today, how you're doing after the healing, any of that, could be interesting. I will read them as time allows. If I have time to get through all of them, I will. Okay, someone says, oh yes, I have been donating to her, meaning Kamala Harris, in the last few weeks. Yes. Thank you for the reminder, donated now. Yeah, because they are definitely going to, like all the news channels, they're going to be mentioning, you know, how many donations she got today, how many donations they got this week, and they're going to equate that as a enthusiasm or lack of enthusiasm about the VP pick. So if you like the VP pick, and I love the VP pick, there's that. It'd be a good time to donate. Happy to join from sunny DC. Well, hello to you. Someone says, Yahoo, I see you, I hear you. I'm so happy about that and this healing. That probably meaning the VP pick, Walz. Yes. I think he's a great choice. What happens when you recycle beings? Good question. Well, you don't recycle them, your angels do. You're asking angels to recycle them, but they get, I mean, your angels double check that it should be done. And so that's nice, a little safety check. But then if that entity has no positive, you know, there's no way to, you know, put that being to work doing something really good for others in the world and itself, then it gets destroyed, basically. You know, it's just recycling is a nice way to think about it, because it is just the energy that was that invasive being just gets converted into, you know, cosmic loveliness. You know, just regular energy that's not a specific being, and then it could be turned into something else later, you know, by the angels that create stuff. But yeah, so it just gets put back into the cosmic soup of nothingness until something else is created. So yeah, that's recycling a being. It's destroying it, but the angels do it. So it's not ego based or anything. You know, it's like you just ask the angels to do it. If they feel it's appropriate and best, then that's what happens. Someone says, I like Mrs. Bones in the background. Yes, you're talking about this skeleton back there. Yeah, which I'll show. Yeah, right. Oops, sorry. Right there by the window back there. Yeah, right there. Yeah, that's a full skeleton model I got. Which sometimes I regret that I bought a full skeleton model because we don't have a big house, so it's got to go somewhere. But it is cool to see and all that. I do overall like it. But I turn it to look out the window because somebody had said in their survey that they had some fears about it. So it triggered some of their fears. So I'm glad you like it. Checking out the view, yes, which helps me to do some of the healing techniques. That's funny. Someone says, I love the garden. Even Tim Walz said, economy is a garden, not a jungle. How can you not love that guy? Yeah, he has, his mind does seem to be lighter. Yeah, he seems to be, yeah. Someone says, oops, wait, I lost it. Rolled and I lost it. I'll find it again. OMG, you haven't had children in this life. Yes, that's correct. I did have an abortion when I was 25. Because I got pregnant by my then boyfriend, and he was an alcoholic, and I knew that A, I wasn't ready to be a mother, and I knew that B, he would be the worst father in the world because he was a raging alcoholic. But I wasn't smart enough not to marry him, which is crazy. I was really imbalanced back then. So It's like I had enough love in my heart that I wouldn't do that to a child to give them a father like him. But I did it to myself, giving myself a husband like him. So whatever. But yeah, if you have an abortion, it's not like murder, like what they say. I mean, yeah, you know, there is a baby spirit that now is not going to be your actual baby and have a whole life with you, but they just go back to heaven and, you know, get more healing, and they, you know, when they're ready, then they sign up to have a full life with somebody else. So it's like sort of part of divine plan and everything. So it's not like yeah, the baby spirit isn't injured in any way. It's not that I took an abortion lightly at that time. It's just I like to explain that because at least in the US there's a lot of, I think, disinformation and moral judgments around abortions that as a reader I don't really see. So yeah, and then when I got together with my current husband Lorenzo, and we've been together for 21 years, we could have had kids, but we decided not to. So yeah, I'm definitely child free by choice, childless by choice. I'm a childless cat lady. I don't want them either. So nice to hear a spiritual person say that. You get so many people twittering on about bleeping kids. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that being a good parent is important. It's just not my purpose, part of my purpose in this life. I help other people be good parents, you know, by the work I'm doing, and I help other people's children. I do heal children in each healing. So I don't dislike the whole concept. It's just, you know, my career is very demanding and I want to devote a lot to it. And it just doesn't fit this time, which I have no regrets about whatsoever. I'm very happy with my choice. I do, you know, feel for people who wanted to have kids biologically and then they couldn't and somehow do not want to adopt. I would probably adopt if I were to have kids. I probably would have adopted if Lorenzo and I had decided to have kids, but I could have had biological kids. Chose not to. Yeah, great healing. Thank you. Glad you liked it. Thank you for healing me. Clearing hips was my favorite. The shoulder work was my least favorite. Interesting. Probably means you need to work on it more. I feel a bit triggered, claustrophobic, and think that's where it's from. Well, okay, but do you mean that, oh, you think that you got triggered by the hips work, and I see what you're saying. But you know, what I worry about with that, I don't worry, but, you know, the concern with that is typically that means you really need hips work. And so, you know, pelvis bones work, and that working pelvis bones more could really help you break through stagnation that you feel in your life. But the concern is that sometimes people don't really understand resistance and how that works, and that, you know, you tend to resist what you need the most. So then they just never ever work on hips ever again, you know, which is an unfortunate sort of missed opportunity. So yeah, you probably just had a real like morally, sexually oppressive past life. I don't think, I mean, sexual abuse baggage could do that, but I don't think that's what it is for you. I think it's just you had one or two like lives where it was you were in a heavily patriarchal culture, and they demonized female sexuality for that reason as part of a way to control women. So yeah, so I wouldn't back away from that. Just, you know, you could work on it in your sleep with your angels, and, you know, bit by bit, just work on it. Just, you know, work on any, you know, oppression baggage that keeps you from really enjoying working your hips. these are just massive, phenomenal bones. And if you can vibrate them with your essence, it's just like a great thing. It feels good too. Really nice. And it's very empowering and strong, and it strengthens your first chakra, which is abundance and courage. So like, yes, please. So anyway, for what that's worth, hope that makes sense to you. Not that you have to get there today, but just you could make a mental note if you wish that, make it a goal and then you work towards it. As opposed to being like, okay, never again. I'm going to stay stuck forever. Thanks for the healing. Would like to know what it is that keeps me from being my true self, especially with my family. Why I have to put myself aside, be treated as a slave, afraid to speak up. Again, there's a concern that you're looking for this one nugget of truth, and that will just fix everything and clear it all right away. And typically things aren't like that. And I think that in your case, it's not like that either. It's just that, so it's more of like a goal that you work towards more and more and more. So, in other words, authenticity, self-acceptance, courage, self-love, identity. Yeah, that kind of thing. So you could like write those words, you could journal, you could think about, it doesn't have to be those words, but that's the idea. It's like standing up for yourself, being yourself, and it's not exactly about these particular family members that you have in this life. It's just that the way they are and the way you are, it's sort of designed to force you to work on this, because it's too annoying otherwise. Had you had a family where they were more similar to you and more supportive of you, then this baggage would have just, probably not gotten cleared at all, because it wouldn't have gotten triggered at all, so, I mean, that's why people pick families that don't really sync with you, that don't really click with you in a positive way, because it forces you to get stronger and clear your weaknesses, heal your weaknesses. So there are a lot of ways you could go at it, but consider it a long-range goal and just keep working towards it. So incremental progress, baby steps, keep working. There's not like one like truth nugget that then game over, you're all better. It's just a strength training, like every day you go to the gym. Well, I wish I went to the gym every day. No, I don't wish. That'd be a lot of time spent, but I wish I did cardio every day. That I would like to work towards doing everyday cardio. Or most days cardio. That's more of I like. And then also going to the gym several times a week. That's what I would like. But anyway, yeah. So there's not one thing. It's just, past life baggage in the way. So just keep clearing and healing and nourishing. I mean, you're headed in the right direction. It's just that you're always acutely aware of what's not right in your life. Like that's something you could do in the meantime too, is just train yourself to think about gratitude, think about progress you have made in getting more present and getting stronger. And, you tend to get a little glass half empty about it all. Like as if you haven't made any progress and there's no point and it's all way too hard. So heart chakra, get a little more unblocking there so that you can, cheer yourself on with your baby steps. You could do like heal little mini versions of you that are the most hopeless feeling about it all. So you target those parts of you that are really glass half empty and give those parts of you healings. Because you want to be able to be your own cheerleader, be your own support system. as you progress. Alrighty. Looking for where I was. Oh, that's funny. I misread the old comment. Going back, the angels are showing me. So you're saying the clearing the hips was your favorite and the shoulder work was your least favorite. Fascinating. Yeah, same difference though. It's past lives, oppressive male lifetimes, like male dominated lifetimes, and you were female. But also a male dominated life where you were a guy, but you weren't like, a big burly guy, and so they like put you down a lot for that. You had like sort of bully guys in your life. So yeah, same difference. But I think though hips really do help you. I guess so do both. Yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry I misread your comment. Someone says, "Thank you for the healing. I was tired right before the healing started and decided to just allow myself to rest. I hope that was okay." Yeah, seems great. Your angels like it. It's recorded. You can always do it later. Thanks for the healing. So powerful. You're welcome. So it says, "Thank you, Janet. Feeling mellow. Got a little triggered during the clearing fear out of filaments part. Interesting." Yeah, just keep melting your mom's cords away from the filaments. So then working the filaments doesn't influence her so much. So then she's not kind of needling you at the same time. Because sometimes, and then too, if you get really, at the start of the clearing filaments part, we did chakra repair. So, if she's courting you and then she sends a blast, then you might need to do chakra repair again, melt her cords to your filaments and then repair your chakras really quickly and then keep doing filament work. But anyway, I think that was my mom getting kicked out. Yes. Well, if she got kicked out, you would feel fantastic or more calm. It's her not wanting to get kicked out, managing to cord there and sending a blast and cracking your first chakra, physical first chakra and physical second chakra. So that's what happened. Also have some neck tension, but that means more to do. Yeah, and it's just there's tension around your good karma windows, the first and second good karma window. So no damage, but a lot of blocks, and so it just creates this pressure that affects your back of neck. Someone says, "Hello, hope you're having a good day. Thank you for the healing." Well, thank you to you. I appreciate it. Yeah, my day is good so far. Someone says, "Thank you for the healing and the teaching, Janet. You're welcome. The shoulder unblock and bring in is so amazing." Oh, good. Glad it helps. Thanks, Janet. I felt sleepy during the healing. I'm feeling super anxious still. Am I in 7 through 3? Any advice on what to work on? Sure. Actually, at the moment, you're only in 7, 6, and 5, which is odd. Your mom, she's really trippy lately. Which is so funny because she got the healing. It's like you'd think that would help. It probably did help, but she's still doing stuff. Crazy. Talk to her for a sec. Okay, your mom has some past life fears triggered from a past life. See, in past lives, when your children move away, like really bad things can happen to them and you won't even know that they died. And, like in past lives, when people moved far, far away so they couldn't visit, I mean, there could have been awful, awful, awful things that happened to them. And she has had 2 past lives where that did happen. Her children moved away, like far away, and they suffered in ways that she felt like, well, if they had stayed near her, that wouldn't have happened. And so she has this very like primal drive to stop you from what you're doing, your new job, your new state, your new home. It's like really primal for her to drive home to you that you've made a horrible mistake. Come home. You have to come home. That's not your home. It's just kind of wild. Let me see if I can help her clear her fears. They're clearing. I'm just talking her through it. Because she's like, it's like at first she's like, no, she's in so much danger. And I'm like she's in a major city. She has more public services at her disposal than you do right now. All right. So currently she is calling back all her, brainwashing that she put on your spiritual path, that she put in your space over the last month, like that, no, stop, you've done the wrong thing. That's not your home. So she's calling it all back. The angels are helping her to do that. So they give me a thumbs up. So we'll see if your life becomes a lot less intense in the next day or so. Hopefully it does. Oh, moms and past life fears are a bad combo. So anyway, now you're in 7 through 2. So yeah, maybe just a little tricolor soak. Just soak, lots of red earth energy or orange or yellow earth energy. Just like chill out, get off the panic train. Funny. Your grounding's okay now. The bottom of your aura layers beneath your feet, those are pretty plugged up. So you can work on unblocking the bottom of your auras and just some earth energy soaks. And maybe too, like, do you listen to calming music at all? Do you eat enough protein? Do you get enough sleep? Like sort of basics that you might tell your clients. Like your angels are like, go eat a burger and hug a tree and touch some grass. Which sounds like good advice. All right, so I hope that helps. And I hope your mom continues on this new trajectory of hers. Someone says, I like hearing your political updates. Well, I'm glad. Your country's politics are both fascinating and mind-boggling. Yeah, tell me about it. Like when you drive past an accident and you want to see what happened. Yeah, no kidding. Like a slow motion accident that keeps happening over and over. Yeah. I think, maybe big picture, there was a lot of darkness, that happened on this land, like all the Native Americans and all that murder that happened, of them, lots of abuse and murder and whatever. And then there was slavery and you know, there was slavery all over the planet, but there was a lot of US slavery. And then even the Civil War, part of that was, you know, because half the country needed slavery to keep going and was really like pro slavery. So, like, there's a lot of darkness that's sort with all that, you know, murder and oppression, and, you know, women couldn't vote forever and blacks couldn't vote. And even like I have linked on my Facebook page, my personal face, if anyone wants to follow me on Facebook, which is funny. I'm not really big into Facebook, but occasionally I post something there. And there was this video I posted recently about redlining in the US, which I didn't really know what it was. I knew it was bad and racist, but I didn't know what it was. So the video explains it really well. It's like there were these governmental policies that the federal government studied these neighborhoods, and if it was a neighborhood that was already all white, then they marked it as a good loan risk for the bank, and so the banks would give homes in that area loans. But if it was an area that was lived in by even just some African black people or people of other non-white races, the federal government highlighted that area and called it high risk. And so none of the banks would give home loans to those areas. And so it meant that people couldn't build homes and own homes if you weren't white, basically, for a long time. And so then it affected wealth building. And so then all these white families were able to, you know, own homes and then give their home to their kids eventually and whatever. And so there's so many layers of, you know, darkness and inequality that is kind of baked into this country that I think is, you know, it's being shaken out of it, but it's still pretty deep. So, you know, yeah, there's that. I mean, I guess that's true. There's a lot of baked in oppression in many countries in this world still. But yeah, in the US, it's become very obvious of late, I guess. More obvious than it has been, even though it's always been an issue. Someone says, curious about spiritual ages of Kamala and Tim. Totally understand if that's not a good question to focus on. Oh, yeah, I haven't read that. Yeah, I'll pass on that for now. I mean, I wouldn't say Kamala is like a saint or anything, but I've been impressed with her since Biden bowed out. I almost feel like somehow Biden, maybe just on a subconscious spirit level, he was kind of like keeping her on the sidelines. So like so many people thought she wasn't that impressive as a VP. I mean, she has impressive qualifications before being VP, for sure. But it's like as soon as Biden dropped out, then she made these speeches, and the way she crafted her ads and everything, there was this boldness and courage and kind of like presence that I didn't notice in her before. So a good thing. But yeah, I mean, you know, Tim Walz, I get just such a nice feeling of. He is if you look into his background, it's really nice background politically and just who he is as a person. Cool thing. So seems like it's going to be helpful for the country for sure. Thanks for the 3 healings. I have felt the difference. Oh, very nice. Good. I wonder who you are. If you're one of my newbies that I don't know your YouTube name for, you could give me an email if you wish to let me know. My email is janet@jwheeling.com. It used to be a very long email address, but now it's just jwheeling. janet@jwheeling.com. But I am glad that you felt the difference. That's awesome. Someone says, how does one develop confidence in what they're hearing and seeing as a reader? Good question. You could post under videos now and then, and I could double check something. You know, like if you say, oh, you know, today, Tuesday, August 6th at, 8 p.m., I feel like I have cracks in my chakras 7, 6, and 5, and then I repaired them and I feel much better. do you feel like that was an accurate read of what happened? You know, something simple, specific, you know, and I'll just double check it when I have time to get to the comment. But, you know, things like that, you know, I could confirm or counter one of your observations, you know, but make them like concrete so that it's easy to do. Generally, I think as a reader, you know, if you read yourself, that's tends to be maybe not always, you know, because things like paranoia and stuff could be an issue. But if you read things that are inherently stabilizing, like read blocks in your grounding and then melt them away, that's inherently stabilizing, you know, because now your grounding has better flow and it helps clear your mind. It helps you be more, feel more safe and stable. So that kind of reading, you know, the kind of self-reading where you know, repair, unblock, you know, in a certain area, and then you might feel the difference right away, or maybe just the next day, or maybe in your sleep it improves something. You know, I think that helps confidence, builds confidence over time. So hopefully that answers your question. If not, you could put a follow-up question under the video at any time, and I'll get to it when I have time. Mrs. Thank you for the feedback. It's so cool to learn. Oh, but again, about your question, it is, I like what sort of the gist of your question in a way, or what you're implying is that people can improve as a reader and you can improve with your confidence as a reader. And that is true. You know, some people don't understand that and they just think, oh, well, you're intuitive or you're not. You're a good energy reader or you're not. You're a good healer or you're not, you know, but like it's not true. When I first started reading energy, all I could see was black for a while. So it's these are abilities that can be unblocked and utilized in a stabilizing way, in a gradual stabilizing way. Someone says, thank you for the feedback. It's so cool to learn about past life experiences. Yeah, past lives are cool. You can practice reading them. I have a bunch of videos that I did about that. Because we did, it was a couple years ago, maybe, I don't know, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, we did a triplet set that was about reading yourself and others, which, you know, actually the previous poster might enjoy as well. If you search Janet Wright, search YouTube for Janet Wright reading yourself and others, maybe. It's a playlist of, you know, the triplet set. And we, you know, I did like, back then, I don't think, it wasn't like a live stream of the healing probably. It was like later I did a video about it maybe. But anyway, there are little videos that talk about that and talk about how you could practice reading yourself or others. But it's more stabilizing to just practice reading yourself for a while, because you learn so much. I mean, it's like you're reading yourself is like this everlasting, unlimited learning buffet. all you can learn buffet that's free. So it says, thank you for the feedback. Oh yeah, I already read that. Hope you have a good day and thanks for all you do. Well, that's very kind of you. Yeah, I should have a decent day. Thank you so much, Janet. Felt much better after unprocessed stress, emptying unprocessed stress pots. Well, that's nice. Good. So now you know that maybe that's something you could do more often. Someone says, hello, I feel sore in my lower back, but overall I'm very relaxed. Thank you for the healing. So for the lower back soreness, check out your aura layers immediately behind there. And just, you know, ask angels to recycle any beings that are behind there, and just look for hard energy blocks that people are cording back there, and just melt the cords and melt the blocks. So like first layer, second layer, third layer behind wherever it's sore. And you can work both sides of your back, lower back at the same time, and then, you know, center lower back, and just, you know, you want like red first layer, red first chakra, red first layer, orange, yellow, second and third chakra, and just, keep unblocking so that rather than like hard black there, it's like flowy and your energy of that, rainbow color, red, orange, yellow, red, orange, yellow. Hope that helps. And also you're a little popped out of your legs. So if you work on unblocking your legs and even just a little stretch there and just be mindful of like kind of lowering yourself back into your legs and then unblock your auras behind your lower back. Thank you for the healing. Are we continuing to work the same theme with the next twin set? Yes. The August twin set is also be a spiritual badass. I don't know if it will be also shoulders, digestion, and chakra filaments. I'll have to, I'll see when I get there. The angels know, but I don't know yet consciously, which is fine. Someone says, thanks for explaining. I feel empowered with that approach. Would it serve me to know past life that brought this about? Just know that there are many past lives. No, it's not one. You keep looking for that one magical key that's going to fix it all. It's not really like that. Like, I mean, okay, take me as a personal example. Like my childhood was like pretty dark and oppressive, so dark that I didn't initially remember like hardly any of it. And just gradually over time I cleared more, and for me personally, I chose, that it would be healthiest not to have conscious level communication with my genetic family members anymore. I chose that when I was 22, 23. Right before I was 23, a couple months before I was 23, I think. Is that true? Maybe I was 24. But anyway, I digress. But the point is, it's a gradual thing, just more and more and more. So you just want to be stronger today than you were yesterday. You want to be stronger next month than you are now. Yeah, that's the idea. It's just, the sky's the limit. And you just got to celebrate each step, so that gives you more strength to do the next step. And it's never too late to be a happy child or have a happy childhood. You can keep healing your inner child. Just imagine, you can imagine wounded inner child parts of you, heal those, or just imagine, a simple version of you as an inner child and just keep healing that so that you can have more and more happiness. But it's gradual. Someone says, thank you, Janet. What process do you recommend I repeat this week? Shoulders. I think the shoulders was the thing. But also agreements with shoulders. Keep clearing the agreements so that you can unblock your shoulders more. But yeah, I think for you, the filament work helped. The digestion work helped. But the shoulder work was sort of that wow factor that you were like, what the hell did you do, Janet? For you, it was the shoulders. The X pattern and the Y pattern. But do it like we did today with the clearing agreements so that you can do more. And then also today we did the damn, it left my brain. Something major that we did. Oh, the hips. That's hilarious. Yeah. We did pelvis and knees and legs together with clearing agreements. So maybe like one part that and like 5 parts shoulder work. So, and then, the clearing the unprocessed stress pots and the clearing STEBs as an in-between thing. But yeah, the pelvis, knees, and legs would be 20%, and the shoulder work maybe 80%. Yeah. All right. Someone says, hello, how did, and you mentioned your mom's name, do with these healings? I'll be able to ask her if she feels any better in the shoulder neck area. Yeah, that would be nice to know. You could put that in your survey about her. The biggest part of the healings for her was the filament work. She had a lot of fears, past life fears in her chakra filaments, as a lot of people did. We focused on it twice in 2 different healings. Yeah. So I would say that was the biggest thing. She did well. She did well. She kind of rocked it, actually. But yeah, the filaments work was something that she needed a lot, and she really took to it well. The CMRs help too, though. Those chakra mud rings, removing chakra mud rings, which we did in all 3 healings. We did it as a separate chapter in the first healing, but then we added it to chakra repair for the second and the third healing, which I may just keep doing that. But anyway, that was a big one for her too. She was able to release a lot more junk more easily from her chakras after the removing the chakra mud rings. All right. Trying to find my place. Oh yeah. Was that healthy for me to have rested the entire time? Should I have been more active about my day? Your angels are fine with it. I feel like you could even like read a book or something. You know, I mean, not like all day, but you know, maybe, or like journal, read a book, something that where it's kind of like yin nourishing, you know, it's like a quiet activity. Or maybe like if you wanted to go, I know in Chicago, you're not in Chicago, but like in Chicago, there was like there is like Lincoln Park Conservatory, and it's this place, it's like all glass domed, and it's like all these it's kind of like in the image that I'm showing right here with the waterfall, like that's kind of the vibe in there. I mean, there was no waterfall. Actually, there was water in there, but it was like very green, and you were surrounded by a lot of green, and it was very like peaceful and comforting and calming. They kind of like that for you. So I think that's what you're trying to attain with the rest. But you could, you know, if you feel like that's a little not enough or not nourishing enough, you know, if there is a, you know, some kind of a nature experience you could give yourself. Seems like your angels like that. Someone says, I really like Tim Walz too. Thanks, Janet. You're welcome. Yeah. Happy day. Craig Ferguson, who's, I think he's from Scotland. He's a comedian. And he had a brief run, I don't know, brief, maybe several years, in a like late night comedy show in the US. And he used to say, it's a great day for America. It's a great day for America. And he said it every show. So sometimes I say that to my husband as a joke. But today I think is a great day for America. Real. And sometimes I feel like, you know, the US kind of, I mean, just because there is so much darkness in the US, and then the US is like sort of a kid with big toys, you know, then the darkness kind of, you know, gets in the way of other countries in a bit through the US. So maybe it's a good day for the whole world if it's a good day for the US. I mean, not necessarily. There's still a lot of horribleness going on everywhere, but whatever. It's at least a great day for America that I know. Someone says, where do I start if I want to read my energy retrospectively? Like, let's say me right now versus me yesterday. That's kind of fun. I mean, you could just read find ways that are easy for you. Like some things will just click with you and some things will be feel too complicated. You know, so maybe, you know, you imagine your day today as a garden and then you imagine yesterday as a garden and you compare them. Or if you don't like the whole garden thing, maybe you imagine yesterday as a book and you flip through it. And then you imagine today as a different book and you flip through it and see how you feel. You know, or you imagine yesterday as a bunch of flowers and today as a bunch of flowers and compare them. You know, or yesterday as a tree and today as a tree. You know? Or like if yesterday was a butterfly, what would it look like? And if today was a butterfly, what would it look like? You know, so you kind of just have fun with it. You know, the lighter you are, the more, you know, creative you are with it. You just keep trying different things that amuse you. Because if you're amused and engaged and interested, it makes you more present. And therefore, it's going to help your chakra flow and make your ability stronger. So, hope that helps. I mean, you could, it depends, you know, if you like detail, you can look at your grounding yesterday versus your grounding today. You could look at your first chakra flow yesterday versus your first chakra flow today. But you can also keep it kind of silly, like, okay, how present were you in your feet yesterday versus how present you are in your feet today, you know, and just kind of imagine it, or, you know, just play around. Practice helps. Someone says, that is interesting that shoulder work was so effective because I always think I don't need shoulder work. That's very funny. Yeah. Yeah, it's not just about alleviating physical tension. It's about, you know, it's a key area for like personal power and manifesting. Yeah. Someone says, hello there. Hello to you. Advice for me. Sure. I don't know who you are in the actual real world, you know, as far as your YouTube ID, which is fine. But just so you know, if you wanted me to know who you are, you could email me later and say your YouTube ID and say your real name, first and last name. But you don't have to. Your grounding is not bad right now. You're in 7, 6, 5, and 4. So you're present in your upper chakras. Your third chakra, it seems like you have a lot of people courting your third chakra. Third chakra is right below the sternum bone, right there where your ribs, just below where your ribs meet. Third chakra has to do with getting stuff done, productivity, taking action, also having good sleep. And yellow is a good color for the third chakra. So you could just imagine your third chakras and repair them and unblock them. They don't so much need repair, but melting cords and unblocking. You know, your astral third is still could use unblocking, but your physical third is the one that everybody seems to cord. Right in the front. They're not trying to hide it on a spirit level. But just, yeah, use lots of gold light, melt away the cords, and unblock it so that you get better flow there. Because then you could pop into your third and then maybe, you know, get into your second and just feel better, feel even better. But you could unblock too your auras right below your feet, especially 3, 2, and 1 right there. So yeah, that's what I would focus on right now, is just unblocking your third more, melting cords, and unblocking the bottom of your auras. Someone says, I love the Lincoln Park Conservatory. I'll go for a nature walk and eat a salmon or veggie burger. That sounds like a great plan. Your angels are happy with that. So cute. They showed me they're so happy by doing cartwheels. Your angels did little cartwheels. They're like, oh, yay. Yeah. Someone says, thank you, Bunches. You're welcome, Bunches. Yes, yes, yes. Alrighty. So yeah, we should probably wrap up. Oh, garden update. I have to do a garden update. Oh my God. Oh, garden update. Okay. Deer. I used to, deer, like the animal deer, very pretty animals. Brown, long legs. We do have deer in our neighborhood. Our area, well, most of the US used to be forested, but definitely our area used to be 100% forest. Probably, I don't know how many years ago, but now it's not. Bunch of houses, but there's still, there's still wooded areas, heavily wooded areas that are pretty near us. And so anyway, there's deer going around, and I previously thought, well, my front yard garden, it's not like there's no deer-proof giant fencing everywhere, so the deer can come and go, and it hasn't really especially been a problem. I mean, they ate a bunch of our kale late last summer, but not during the summer, so it just didn't feel like it was such a problem. I mean, they ate some kale in the winter, but I think at the time we weren't eating much of it, or we had a ton of it, so it just didn't feel like it was a big deal, and we do have a lot of things, like we have a lot of blueberry bushes, more than we need, and, so the idea is, plant extra for the wildlife, right? However, so they've never before, they never touched our bean plants before that I had noticed in previous years, like green beans, like long green beans. Like, we really like growing long green beans. I like growing them. Lawrence likes eating them. I like eating them. And so turns out they found both of the trellises where our beans were growing, and they ate most of the leaves off the bean plants, which I don't know how that's going to work because bean plants can't thrive if they've lost most of their leaves. So I don't know. I'm going to try to fertilize them with some kind of natural nitrogen heavy fertilizer to see if they can regrow leaves. But I'm not sure if that's a thing that green bean vines would do. So I might have to start new green bean plants in the house, and then put them out there, but I'm not sure that it might be too late already for that. Too late in the season. It might not. I have to research that. So it's a real thing. So I researched last night, because last night is when I discovered that the deer just went to town on the green bean vines. They didn't eat the base of the vine, they ate the leaves. Except for the very bottom leaves. They didn't eat the very bottom leaves, right up against the ground, but the whole length of them they chomped. And so I don't know, though, that vines can pop out new leaves along the stem of the vine. If anyone has experience with that, let me know. But so I don't know. But as far as deterring them, I'm gonna put something smelly all around the vines, probably within the next few hours, just so that, to deter the deer, because apparently they're very sensitive to smell. So I'm gonna put smelly stuff all around. And I ordered, those aren't gonna be here till tomorrow, but I ordered, apparently they hate the smell of Irish Spring soap. Which I don't know if Irish Spring soap is actually Irish at all, or it's just some stupid marketing thing. But apparently it's very strong smelling soap, and deer hate that smell. So they hate other smells too, like garlic and all sorts of things, So that's what I'll be using today, is some of the other smells they hate. But they hate Irish Spring soap. So I bought 16 bars of Irish Spring soap that are coming tomorrow, Wednesday. And I'll hang them on the bean trellis all around the bean plants. And around some of the tomato, because they started chomping down the tomato plants too. But the tomato plants, they weren't as thorough. They obviously didn't prefer the tomato plants as much as they preferred the bean leaves. But the tomato vines, they had multiple, branches going up. And so they would chomp one of them. So like maybe there's another one or there's another 2 already. So it's not the end of the world, but I will put some Irish Spring bars of soap hanging from those trellises too, because if they were to come back and keep eating them, then I'd be potentially screwed. I mean, I'll live, but you know what I mean. So that's my garden update. Big deer issue. And the thing is, I have like a bird bath and I have like a low water source as well, because you want like nice garden snakes. We don't have poisonous snakes here, so garden snakes are benevolent and good here. Only they don't hurt people. And so I wanted a low water source for like snakes, potentially garden snakes. And, you know, and there are a lot of roaming cats that may or may not have homes. So I have a water source on the ground for them. And then I have a bird bath for the birds, but the deer were drinking out of that. And I thought, oh, that's fine and dandy. That's fine. But now I think, well, maybe that's part of what's drawing the deer to the front yard. Obviously, they can see a million things growing there, so that's another reason why they come. But so I'm thinking of moving maybe 1 or 2 of the water sources to the backyard, because the cats and the birds can go in the backyard for all that stuff, and the deer might not see it in the backyard, and there's nothing for them to eat in the backyard anyway, for the most part. So I may move the water sources in the backyard, and I may put like smelly boundaries all over the yard. You know, things they don't like the smell of, in addition to Irish Spring soap. I may do a physical boundary, but not like a giant hardcore 8 feet fence, because you have to do like double. It's really hardcore how you have to do it. But I may do like a fishing line or 2 at different heights, not like really low because I don't want to trip anybody, but like if you do it at like maybe I would do it at like waist height and a little higher. And that way, because apparently if they feel that they're not really good at seeing fish line, and so if they walk into it, it kind of freaks them out and then they would go away, is the idea. So I might try that too. But anyway, apparently it's an issue I have to solve pretty quickly. And then I have to figure out about the beans. But I'm hoping there's some kind of a solution about the beans, because we have a lot of fun harvesting beans generally. Last 2 years, or last 2 years. So yeah, that's the thing. I have to figure that out really fast. That's my garden update. Someone says, oh, okay. Oops. Somebody mentioned gardening comments, so I'll read those right now. Someone says, my brother has used hot peppers as a natural animal deterrent. And someone says, some people use dog fur to deter other animals. Yeah. Well, we certainly have that. But I think I need something that's, you know, high up, because they, you know, that's why they liked that's part of why they liked the bean plants, because it was like at their height, you know, the beans were on a trellis, and the tomatoes, they ate the high up stuff. I think they're lazy. They don't want to bend down, because there's so much food everywhere in my yard, my front yard. Like a little supermarket for them. No, but yeah, for hot peppers, wonder how he will grow them around his vegetables, and it usually works, except for his sun gold tomatoes. Yeah. Yeah, I think you can spray things on plants too, because like I need, you know, a deterrent, like I said, up high. So I have some liquid fertilizers that are incredibly stinky. So I don't know that my neighbors will be happy about that, but I think if I can just pour it on the, you know, what's left of the bean plants, and then, you know, the smell will die down enough that my neighbors won't smell it, but the deer will get near it and go, ugh. I'm hoping. Plus the Irish Spring soap. But yeah, I mean, I have other scent deterrents, which maybe is why it hasn't been an issue until this year. Like I grow lots of rosemary. I grow a ton of oregano. Like oregano basically is taking over the universe in my yard. Oregano and rosemary. I don't have a lot of basil out there right now because it's all on the back porch. I haven't planted all of it yet, but I have marigolds. I have like a lot of smelly, stinky stuff, but there's not enough of it probably around the beans. And I guess, well, and then I have, all these blueberry bushes, which, obviously are probably pretty tasty for them, which I don't mind because we have so many. But maybe the blueberries and everything just calls them in. So this is, what about ladybugs? Well, ladybugs don't help with my deer problem, really. But they exist in the yard still. They're not as plentiful as they were before. But I don't really have much of an aphid problem right now either, so they were there eating all the aphids, but now I don't really have many aphid problems. I think I over-fertilized in the last 2 summers in a row. Like I used, there was this composted chicken poop that you could buy that was like a fertilizer, and it was really good, and it's cheap too, but it was like good from good sources, so it didn't have bad chemicals in it, and so I would use it like crazy in my gardens, and I think it makes the plants grow faster than is healthy for them, faster than is healthy and gentle. And so then they were stressed. They looked really okay, but they were stressed, I guess, from growing too fast. And so then the aphids came, which is why I needed the ladybugs. But so I really scaled back how much I fertilize, or how much nitrogen fertilizer I use this year. So maybe that's why I don't have aphids, knock on wood. Don't have an aphid problem. Also, I don't have nasturtiums in my yard this year. I pick them. I don't let them grow because the nasturtiums were like too good for my aphids. It grew like this aphid festival that was like really out of control. All right, so that's enough gardening, but thank you for all that. And if you have other gardening suggestions, you could put them in your survey or email me or post them under the video. But you don't have to. I'll work it out, I promise. Or I won't. I mean, we can always, fortunately, we can't afford to buy our own food, so it's okay. Worst case, we'll have to buy green beans. But hoping it doesn't come to that. We'll see. All right, so now we could do an Izzy cam, of course. How could we not? Get the full camera here. So as usual, when I'm showing Izzy and putting the camera over there, I'll be away from the microphone, so you won't be able to hear me talk to him when I've got the camera right by him. Okie doke. I show my puppy Izzy. Okay, so I hope you got a good look at him. He's a cutie pie. He always shoves himself into the cat, even though there are much roomier options in the house. Alrighty. So you're amazing, and I hope you enjoyed this triplet set. It's been a big one. Hopefully in a good way for you. All right, well, take care. Have a good morning, evening, afternoon, whatever's next for you. And it's a great day for America. Hopefully it's a great day for you too. Bye. We'll do a double confetti. Bye.